AFCI, or arc fault circuit interrupter protection, is indeed required for a 15 amps dedicated circuit supplying a fan coil unit located in a bedroom according to the 2017 National Electrical Code. The NEC, specifically Section 210.12, addresses arc fault circuit interrupter protection. This section mandates that all 120 volts, single phase, 15 amps and 20 amps branch circuits supplying outlets or devices installed in dwelling unit bedrooms must be protected by an AFCI. Let's break down why this applies to the fan coil unit situation. Firstly, the fan coil unit is located in a bedroom. Secondly, it's powered by a 120 volts, single phase, 15 amps dedicated circuit. The NEC definition of an outlet includes any point on a wiring system at which current is taken to supply utilization equipment. A fan coil unit, being utilization equipment, is therefore supplied by an outlet. Therefore, since the fan coil unit is supplied by a 120 volts, single phase, 15 amps branch circuit in a bedroom, it falls under the requirements of NEC Section 210.12, thus necessitating AFCI protection. The purpose of AFCI protection is to detect arc faults, which are dangerous electrical conditions that can lead to fires. Arc faults occur where electricity jumps between conductors or to ground, creating heat and potentially igniting nearby materials. Standard circuit breakers are designed to protect against overloads and short circuits, but they may not detect arc faults. AFCIs are specifically designed to detect these arc faults and trip the circuit, thereby preventing a fire. Now let's consider some additional details regarding AFCI protection. There are two main types of AFCIs: branch/feeder AFCIs and outlet branch circuit AFCIs. Branch/feeder AFCIs are installed in the panel board and protect the entire branch circuit. Outlet branch circuit AFCIs are installed at the first outlet in the branch circuit and provide protection for the remainder of the circuit downstream. In this specific scenario, either a branch/feeder AFCI in the panel board or an outlet branch circuit AFCI at the first outlet of the circuit supplying the fan coil unit would satisfy the code requirements. It's important to note that the NEC is updated every 3 years, so it's crucial to refer to the latest edition of the code to ensure compliance. While the 2017 NEC mandates AFCI protection, in this case future editions may have different or more stringent requirements. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your electrical installations comply with the latest applicable codes and standards. Furthermore, the term dwelling unit is important to understand within the context of the NEC. A dwelling unit is defined as a single unit providing complete and independent living facilities for one or more persons, including permanent provisions for living, sleeping, cooking, and sanitation. This means that the AFCI requirements apply to bedrooms in houses, apartments, condominiums, and similar residential settings. The specific type of AFCI to use, whether branch/feeder or outlet branch circuit, may depend on the specific installation and the existing wiring. A qualified electrician can assess the situation and recommend the appropriate type of AFCI. It's also essential to follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation and testing of AFCIs. AFCIs should be tested periodically to ensure that they are functioning correctly. Most AFCIs have a test button that can be used to simulate an arc fault and verify that the device trips. It's recommended to test AFCIs at least once a month. In addition to the NEC requirements, some local jurisdictions may have their own electrical codes or amendments that further specify AFCI protection requirements. It's essential to check with the local building department or electrical inspector to determine if there are any local requirements that apply to your specific situation. Also, consider the impact of AFCI nuisance tripping. Older motors and fan coil units can sometimes cause AFCIs to trip due to the electrical noise they generate. If you experience frequent nuisance tripping of an AFCI, consult with a qualified electrician to determine the cause and recommend a solution. It might involve replacing the fan coil unit motor, upgrading the AFCI, or making other modifications to the electrical system. There are different types of AFCIs that have different tolerances to nuisance tripping, so choosing the right type can be important. Let's elaborate on the types of AFCI protection. Branch/feeder AFCIs are installed in the electrical panel and protect the entire branch circuit from the panel to the last outlet. They are typically less expensive than outlet branch circuit AFCIs. Outlet branch circuit AFCIs, on the other hand, are installed at the first outlet in the circuit. They provide protection for the wiring downstream from that outlet as well as protection for the outlet itself. Outlet branch circuit AFCIs are more sensitive to arc faults near the outlet and can provide better protection in some situations. The choice between branch/feeder and outlet branch circuit AFCIs depends on factors such as the existing wiring, the layout of the circuit, and the specific requirements of the local electrical code. A qualified electrician can help you determine which type of AFCI is best for your situation. Another crucial aspect of AFCI protection is proper wiring. Loose connections, damaged wiring, and improper grounding can all contribute to arc faults. Before installing an AFCI, it's essential to inspect the wiring to ensure that it's in good condition and that all connections are tight. If you find any problems with the wiring, have them repaired by a qualified electrician before installing the AFCI. Also, be aware of the limitations of AFCIs. While AFCIs are effective at detecting and preventing arc faults, they are not a substitute for proper wiring practices and electrical safety. It's still essential to follow all applicable electrical codes and standards and to use caution when working with electricity. In summary, AFCI protection is a critical safety feature that can help prevent electrical fires. The NEC requires AFCI protection for 120 volts, single phase, 15 amps and 20 amps branch circuits supplying outlets or devices installed in dwelling unit bedrooms. This requirement applies to fan coil units located in bedrooms. By understanding the NEC requirements and the different types of AFCIs available, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe and compliant with code. Always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work. They have the expertise to ensure it's done safely and correctly, adhering to all relevant codes and regulations. In general, it is best to consider the requirements for installing AFCIs, ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, and surge protection devices, or SPDs. Remember that electrical codes and standards are constantly evolving, and it's essential to stay up to date on the latest requirements. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and local jurisdictions may also have their own electrical codes or amendments. By staying informed and working with qualified professionals, you can ensure that your electrical system is safe, reliable, and compliant with all applicable codes and standards. Let's further elaborate on some potential issues and troubleshooting steps regarding AFCI breakers. If an AFCI breaker trips frequently, it could indicate a problem with the circuit or the device connected to it. Some common causes of AFCI tripping include loose connections, damaged wiring, and faulty appliances. Here are some steps you can take to troubleshoot an AFCI that trips frequently. Firstly, inspect the wiring and connections on the circuit. Look for any loose connections, damaged insulation, or other signs of damage. Tighten any loose connections and replace any damaged wiring. Secondly, test the appliances connected to the circuit. Unplug each appliance one at a time and see if the tripping stops. If the tripping stops when you unplug a particular appliance, that appliance may be faulty and need to be repaired or replaced. Thirdly, consider the possibility of nuisance tripping. Some AFCIs are more prone to nuisance tripping than others. If you suspect that the tripping is due to nuisance tripping, you may want to try replacing the AFCI with a different model or type. There are also some types of AFCIs that are designed to be less susceptible to nuisance tripping. If you are unable to resolve the tripping problem yourself, it's best to consult with a qualified electrician. They can help you diagnose the problem and recommend the appropriate solution. They can also ensure that any repairs or replacements are done safely and correctly. Also, keep in mind that AFCIs are not foolproof. They can fail to trip in some situations, and they can also trip unnecessarily in other situations. It's essential to use caution when working with electricity, even when AFCIs are installed. Now let's delve deeper into the testing and maintenance of AFCIs. Regular testing is crucial to ensure that AFCIs are functioning correctly and providing the intended protection. As mentioned earlier, Most AFCIs have a test button that simulates an ARC fault and verifies that the device trips. It's recommended to test AFCIs at least once a month. To test an AFCI, simply press the test button. The AFCI should trip immediately, cutting off power to the circuit. If the AFCI doesn't trip when you press the test button, it may be faulty and need to be replaced. If the AFCI trips, you can reset it by switching it to the off position and then back to the on position. In addition to regular testing, it's also essential to inspect AFCIs periodically for any signs of damage or wear. Look for any cracks, discoloration, or other signs of damage. If you find any damage, replace the AFCI immediately. Also, keep AFCIs clean and free of dust and debris. Dust and debris can interfere with the operation of the AFCI and can also create a fire hazard. Let's discuss the compatibility of AFCIs with different types of loads. While AFCIs are designed to protect against ARC faults, they may not be compatible with all types of loads. Some loads, such as motors and electronic devices, can generate electrical noise that can cause AFCIs to trip unnecessarily. If you experience frequent nuisance tripping of an AFCI, it may be due to the type of load connected to the circuit. In this case, you may need to replace the AFCI with a different model or type that is less susceptible to nuisance tripping. There are also some devices that can be used to filter out electrical noise and prevent nuisance tripping. These devices are often called AFCI filters or AFCI chokes. In summary, AFCI protection is a critical safety feature that can help prevent electrical fires. The NEC requires AFCI protection for 120 volts, single phase, 15 amps and 20 amps branch circuits supplying outlets or devices installed in dwelling unit bedrooms. This requirement applies to fan coil units located in bedrooms.